My name is Germana Ravanelli. I am a certified clinical hypnotherapist, a mind-body healer, a personal trainer, a nutritional therapist. I was taught that health is harmonizing the body, the mind, and the spirit. Hello, thank you for opening up this video. My name is Germana Ravanelli, and this video is about boundaries. I think that a lot of people, including myself, needed to learn what is a boundary, what's a safe boundary, am I allowed to take care of this? And if we've come from a kind of a confusing, chaotic childhood or abusive relationships, we usually repeat the pattern, then having a boundary would be like very frightening. And it might even be something that we think we would be hurt, beat, abandoned, abused, neglected if we set that boundary. So we don't. We kind of go into this type of fawn and feign. So there's fight, flight, fawn, and feign. So once you get past the fight and flight, then there's the other pieces of trauma, fawn and feign. What do I have to do so you won't leave me, so you won't hurt me, so you won't think I'm stupid or bad? And it's understanding that we work on these things in a granular way daily to rebuild our sense of self, our identity, our self-worth, and to have healthy relationships. The relationship we have with ourselves is the number one relationship that sets the tone for everything else. So this one will be about emotional boundaries. Emotion is energy in motion. So a thought creates a feeling, and that begins to be the emotion. So if I have an emotion of sadness and I pretend I don't have it, and I don't go, what do you need? I'm actually in a disassociation, self-abandonment pattern with myself. So if I have sadness and I'm like, oh, I wonder if I'm sad or if I'm grieving, and I actually give myself 5 minutes just to go, I'm here for you. I feel that you're sad. I'm going to sit and let you just feel the feelings and let them run through the body without thinking about them. Let it be electrical current and let it move through. Very much like a light bulb. The emotion will go away, which is the beauty. If you remember when you watch a baby, if the baby is being cared for, the baby will cry. The mother will hold the baby, rock the baby will continue to cry. The energy will move through the baby like an electrical current, and it will dissipate, and the baby will be giggling and gurgling in a while. That baby has not been shamed to have feelings or emotions. So the same thing happens to adults. If we were shut down as children, don't talk, don't think, don't feel, which is really common, then what ends up happening is when we get emotions here in our adult life, we pretend they're not real, or we get busy, or we hold our breath, or we shame ourselves for being scared. Maybe we're scared, maybe we're sad, maybe we're embarrassed, maybe we feel vulnerable. And people that are in the healing journey need to learn more than anything to go, what am I feeling? And not get into an internal story about it. What is my body feeling? I think one of the most important ones that I have noticed that it's taken me decades to get honest about is when I'm tired. That it's okay to go, oh, you're tired. Go take a nap. Do you know what a lot of people do now is they just drink some energy drink, have some more coffee, have some more sugar, and they'll push their body up, and then eventually it will crash. Because when the body is tired is when it's actually doing cellular repair. That's when it's doing the internal housekeeping. It's like that's when all the little helpers are coming in and cleaning the dust and the diseased cell tissue, and it's cleaning it up. And that's what allows that person to be robust and healthy once again. So an emotional boundary is also saying to someone, I'm not comfortable with this. Like, say if you're in a dating situation and somebody's trying to manipulate you or trying to get you to do something you don't want to do or it doesn't feel good, you just say, that doesn't feel good for me, or I love this isn't good for me. A while ago I was talking to one of the banks, and they wanted me to take out this big thing, and I said, well, what are the closing costs? And he goes, well, it's only $5,000. And I said, absolutely not. I said, I'm not interested. I said, that's not good for me. It's great for you guys. So emotionally, I got this spike of fear. Oh my God, that's insane. The old me would have said, sure. And I would have had this opportunity with this big fat bill that I didn't need. But that's the energy. The emotion comes up. Does this feel good? Yes or no? If it doesn't feel good, you just say, I need time to think about that, or this doesn't feel like it's good for me. Nobody can argue with that, because then they're an abuser if they overstep that line. You're actually saying, this isn't good for me. I don't like this. And if they push, you are in the face of someone who will hurt you and make it your fault if you complain later. Another type of emotional boundary is, this is something that I like to do, but it's something that I do when I make my room up and it's really cozy and it feels welcoming. That's me creating an emotional boundary of comfort. So I look and I'm like, this is my little piece of heaven right here. And guess how my emotions feel? I feel amazing. And if I was to leave it and let it get dirty and nasty, I'd still love it, but I would love it not as much. So I'm taking care of my emotional health by going, does this feel good when I do this? Another emotional boundary is finishing something that you start. Just say you've got something started and you haven't really finished it and it's sitting there, unfinished business, and you complete it. Imagine how wonderful you feel when you're done. That's an example of you showing up for you and letting yourself succeed. When we realize that we matter and that our needs matter and we work towards that, our life gets so much better. I was talking to someone just on the weekend and they were trying to find a way to not join a couple of us going to this big group event. And this woman says, well, I have to clean the toilet. And I said, well, the toilet will be there when you come back. And then I said, the world doesn't benefit by your suffering. So she was into self-neglect, which is a type of abuse. And so she came along and she had a great time. But her mind was making up a story because she's probably a little bit nervous to not go. I'll just clean the bathroom. And I'm like, come with us. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. And so she had a great time. But emotions are energy in motion. And if we try to shut them off, like don't feel it, then it will lock into your body and you'll have tension, you'll have poor posture, you might end up with a back problem or a shoulder problem or a knee problem because the energy has to sit somewhere. And when you get used to thinking of your body kind of like a light bulb, a conductor of energy, and if you just let yourself have the emotion, whatever it is, without putting a label on it and let it run through you like an electrical circuit, just like the baby that cries and then it moves out, the baby's fine. Well, we're that way too, but sometimes we have to relearn how to do it so that we aren't harming ourselves by shutting down what our body's telling us. Our body cannot lie, but our brain lies lots. Our brain thinks it's super smart, and it's really just a series of programs and tapes, about 80,000 thoughts that we've been thinking every day for most of our lives. And most of those thoughts were trained to us by our family. And we adopted them to survive our families. So if you came from a traumatic background, then you want to go, is this good for me? Is this true? And then maybe just have some compassion. I'm so sorry that you've carried this message for so long. It's not true, and I'm letting myself let it go. There might be tears, but now you're out of that jail, and there might be another layer under it, another layer, and that's okay. It's way better than not knowing who you are and what you're about. It really is a daily practice. Boundaries. Is this good for me? Does this bring me joy? Whenever I do something that scares me, I don't know how to do joy. I can't feel joy. And that tells me I'm in my armor. So when I get back to allowing myself just to have fun, whether I sit there and cuddle the dog or, go outside and sit in the sun or just do something that's just for me, that's when I'm in a place of allowing myself the privilege of joy, which is a boundary to be a human being, not a human doing. And you are here to have a good time. It's not all about suffering. So I hope maybe you've got a couple of ideas that you can apply that allow you to check. Like if you get an emotion, what am I telling myself? And can I let this emotion just move through me? Maybe remember what the baby does. When children are allowed to cry, they end up developmentally pretty healthy. And when they're shut down, someone stuffs food in their mouth or lets the baby cry it out, that child will have a disassociation from their own emotions and their own power. Energy in motion. So it's energy that's moving, that we attach something to, that doesn't have to be accurately true, but we can just let it move. And letting yourself get your needs met is the most wonderful gift you can ever give to yourself. So I'm going to thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day.